Well, hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Ladies and Gents Listen Up. Man, oh man, have we been having a ball here. Hello, Mr. Rufus Carpenter, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Good morning, Dr. Liz.
Good morning, good morning. Well, are you ready to continue the conversation on we talked about the 10 most important things in a relationship on last week. So let's go to Grandma's cookie jar first, okay? Then we'll get started.
Okay.
All right, but before we get started, always don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Subscriptions are going up, so we appreciate you watching and supporting. So make sure that you hit that red subscription button. That's important. Become a part of the community, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
All righty, Grandma's cookie jar is sitting here brewing some startup stuff today. Let's see what Grandma's cookie jar has in store. Uh-oh, here we go. Grandma's cookie jar says, I promise you all, I did not stuff the cookie
Where's my
jar.
pen?
I did not stuff the cookie jar. I promise you, this was the next flip, right? It says, you ready? Because I know you're writing them all down. Nothing worth having comes easy.
Ooh, nothing worth having comes easy.
Nothing worth having
Nothing
comes
worth having
easy.
comes easy.
And boom, this is my proof. I like that with a fact check. That's what Cookie Jar says. And on the back says, some things are worth fighting for. Woo wee!
Some things are worth
Fighting
fighting for.
for. Wow. There it is. Straight out the cookie jar, right? Wow. Nothing worth having is nothing worth having comes easy. That's really a great one right there just to get started with because we're talking about those 10 most important things that are in to a relationship, but that list doesn't stop there. It's not an all inclusive list. When you're talking about relationships and sustainable love, it is work, right? It's not
Yes,
gonna
it
come
is.
easy. It's not gonna come easy. So we talked about the trust, care, communication, honesty, and respect on last podcast. So today we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna flip over to the other five, which we talked about empathy, acceptance, patience, compromise, and forgiveness.
Yes, yes. Now, first, I want to start by telling you how much I appreciate being a part of your podcast, and I don't take it for granted because you have become such a powerful platform in our community, and I appreciate you for doing that. So please continue, and may
Thank
God
you.
shine upon you as you go through this year. This year, this is the second podcast for me in this year. So I want to start first by saying relationships are very, very important. And if you notice what Dr. Liz and I have talked about prior to this point in the other podcasts, all lead up to right now. Because as we ended last year talking about loveless relationships, and we made it a series. And that series, I think, went on to 5 different episodes. And we asked you, as part of that, was to build your relationship in December the 15th of 2023 to your best possibility. And these 10 things that's in a relationship, and I call the things that matter or make a difference, are truly important and part of that journey, part of that step. So please pay close attention and listen and be a part of this. And let Dr. Liz know if you have any questions along the way of anything that we can go further or deeper into, let us know, and we'll be happy to do that for you. Now, let's get on with today's mission.
All
Today's
right.
mission is talking about the bottom five. The bottom five. Now, the first five, as you said, were very, very important. And the first five a relationship are the things that make a relationship survive, make you survive a relationship. And they were the trust, the caring, the communication, the honesty, and the respect. Those five are the things that help you survive a relationship. The bottom five are the things that help you thrive in a relationship, to take the
Mm,
relationship to the next level. And the first one is empathy.
mm,
Empathy. Empathy governs the way we interact in society. It impacts how we care and develop for one another. And that's empathy. Because if you empathize, if you understand that, it's almost like the golden rule. How you want to be treated, how you want to treat other people, and how you want other people to treat you. So empathy is very, very important. Walk
yes,
a
it is.
mile in your shoes and walk a mile in your partner's shoes. See what they're going through. When they
Yeah.
come home after work or a hard day or whatever they do, whether it be school, whether it be work, or whether it be volunteering, or whatever they do, when they come in, be that support. Honey, how was your day? Baby, what can I do for you? Hey, take your seat, relax for a minute. Let me rub your feet. These are the things that make it that much better. Going to the next level now.
Exactly. Exactly. I like that though, because when we think about thinking about the other person's shoes, because oftentimes, we just think about ourselves, right? We don't think about the other person and what they may have gone through during their day, or the things that they have to encounter being themselves, because we only see things like from our perspective. But when you do that, it gives you a whole different perspective, and it opens up your eyes to a whole different, a way of flowing, a way of moving. So I really like that. Look, thinking about, if I say this, and oftentimes the word, if I say this, if somebody said this to me, how would I feel?
Yes.
I've had people that say, well, I just say whatever, I just say it. And then if I have to apologize, I apologize. But that's not the proactive way of getting to what we said. Some things are worth fighting for. That means that you're opening your mind to a different way of doing things. So awesome. I love that.
Well, I wouldn't have an opinion of what you said about people that say what they say and just deal with it afterwards. I wouldn't have an opinion. And if I had an opinion, I really wouldn't say it. But in my neighborhood, they call it a food. Moving right along.
But we're taking the gloves off in 2023. Well, all right.
Now let's get serious. Oh, now the next one is acceptance. Acceptance is positively the influencing those around you. It's how you influence them. It's your ability to maintain a healthy relationship with your partner and other. Because if you accept them, you allow them to be themselves. You allow them to make mistakes. You allow them to have highs and lows, the ebb and flow of a relationship. Acceptance is very, very important because it gives you those opportunities to see you just as you are, and they see you as you are, as they are, and you see them just as they are. And you don't have to put on the air. You don't have to play those games. You don't have to, well, hey, I've got to do this. I've got to, when I go home, I'm going to wear myself out trying to be what he or she wants me to be so I can be accepted. That's not a great relationship. This is 2023. We got to get our relationship house in order. And
That's
acceptance
good.
is the key.
That's good. That's good. And not trying to change somebody. I think oftentimes you get into a relationship and, we're falling in love with the potential of somebody and not seeing exactly what's right here, right? Because what did they say? Whatever the person is, they're going to be 10 times that, especially if you get married. They're going to be 10 times what they are right now. The only person that can change you is you, yourself, right? So attempting to change somebody else or, what have you, that's a slippery slope, right to failure, right?
What most people say when you first start a relationship, that's the best it's ever gonna be. It's gonna go downhill from there. That's what a lot of people think. That's false. That for the most part, if you genuinely love each other and care, you will build something better as the time goes on. It'll get better because you getting to know each other more. You're bringing more to the table if you have a good match. The key is if you have a good match. And
Right.
that's a separate topic because that talks about selection process and what do you do if you don't have a good match. But that's a little deeper than what we're going to do today. But
Right.
that acceptance is very, very important. Now,
Yeah.
let's move right along to the next one. Patience. This is where I struggle the most in relationships. And I thought communication was a big dog in the fight, but patience truly is. Patience help you to build trust in a relationship and the emotional self-control. Patience make you feel like you're on the same team. Patience also helps you overcome communication barriers. Now, patience is big. It's big. Believe it or not, patience is so big. There's a chapter in the Bible, I think James chapter 1, verses 3 and 4, and where it says, knowing that you try your faith work its patience, but let patience have her perfect work,
Right.
and entirety wanting nothing. And I think down to about 5 or 6, a little further down, it said, let patience have her perfect work, account it all joy. For me, that is major. That is major, because patience, as we see it, we think it's having relaxing, giving somebody a chance to be themselves, giving somebody a chance to clear the head, giving a person a chance to go have their moment. When you're in an argument, or when you're intensive moment, you back off and give them a chance to collect themselves. Yes, that's patience. But patience is bigger than that, much bigger.
Mm.
Patience is perseverance. If you gotta work through. Patience is saying staying there when it's tough, being in a relationship, working through the difficult times,
Mm.
through to the end. When you say I'm your ride or die, that is patience.
So let me get this clear though. So patience in progress, right?
Well, patience, yes, patience is the ongoing progress towards
Right.
that mark.
Right, because I'm saying that having an understanding and being clear, because some people will say, in a bad situation, they continue to stay in that bad situation. They would say that I'm just having patience, that this person is going to change, they're going to do different or what have you. But we're talking about patience because we know people are developing, but you also have to know what your boundaries are, right? And also
Right.
what healthy is. Even when you're working in patience, what's healthy, right? Like some people are, work through like abusive situations, whether it's verbally or physically or whatever. We're not talking about patience in that situation. We're talking about patience in a situation where you have, like you said, compatibility, you have the right ingredients, but maybe somebody is working on something as little as like love languages, not little as love languages, but I say in the love languages of, man, why do you keep putting that glass on that table without a coaster, right? Having
Mm-hmm.
patience that person was, okay, I forgot, babe. I'm gonna remember. So patience is, even if they did it again, not getting so all bent out of shape because you didn't do it. It's like
Mm-hmm.
patience. They're getting it. They're willing to do this because it's pleasing you,
Okay.
and they're willing to do it. So that's what
Okay.
we're talking about. Patience as a person as you start to, come together. We're talking about that type of patience.
Well, we're talking deeper than that, because your patience is almost like empathy. You almost went back up to empathy in your response. You almost went back up
Okay.
to empathy, almost
Okay.
on that. Our patience is a little deeper than that. Our patience is a little deeper than that. Well,
Okay.
let's talk patience from two perspectives: the world perspective and from the Christian perspective. Let's talk them
Okay.
both. And that's
Okay.
why I wanted to try my best to get that Bible verse in there, because we're talking patience from two worlds. First, patience of the world is what's in it for me. I'm patient to find what I'm looking for. I'm patient to go with you as long as you give me what I want, and I'm finding what I want. That's the world. The world's patience is I'm patient as long as it's serving me.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's the
Mm.
world's patience.
Mhm.
Like that coaster situation you said, if you get that coaster thing right, hell, I'm patient with you. You good. You served me.
Good point. Good point. Good point.
so so that's the world.
Mhm.
That's the world. The Bible patience is a little different. The
Okay.
Christian patience is a little different. Christian patience is that God works on you. The things that in a relationship that rubs you the wrong way or you struggle with, these are the things that might be working on you to make you a better person, to get you stronger in a relationship. So down the road, when you have real challenges, you have already have worked through the smaller stuff that will prepare you for the bigger stuff in a relationship. Because getting that coaster thing in place, that's a small thing. If I work through that and we work that out, then when it gets to infidelity or something like that, I'm stronger. I can handle bigger things, because some things work for you and some things work on you.
Okay, but you just named something that could be could be a deal breaker, right?
It
Understanding
could
your
be,
when you say
it
that
could
infidelity.
be,
Mhm.
it could be, if you got to realize something, all things work together. All things, not some things, all things. Because if we're talking about a marriage, it says up and down, it says all things. It tells you that we're together for life. We're at this, we're in this.
Right.
And
we're
go
talking
ahead.
about we're talking about in a marriage. We're talking about, okay, in the relationship, getting to the marriage, right? So if you're working with somebody that's compatible, and you're working with somebody that says, okay, these are my deal breakers. That's why I used to say this. I used to say this a lot, and this is the first time I'm gonna correct myself in this specific topic.
Wow.
When I talked about, I've been saying it for longest. I've been saying it for years. I've been saying interrogation, right up front. You have to have that interrogation. But I'm switching that. I'm pivoting to investigation. Okay? Because interrogation, if you're sitting at the table with somebody and you're interrogating them, we might have the thought process of hammering them, right? And that's not what I meant. When I said interrogation, I meant more investigation, right? And I mean to understand what that person's, does your are you morally, what you believe in and what they believe in, does it line up? Do they know that, maybe some people, infidelity is a deal breaker for them, right? For some people, drugs or something, or, certain things that are just totally deal breakers, that we're not even talking about having patience in those things, or are we? Are you saying that if you're with somebody and they, they're addicted to drugs, possibly, you don't know that they're addicted to drugs. And when you find out that they're addicted to drugs, it's patience saying, okay, if you're willing to go through rehab, I'm willing to work this out with you. I'm willing to be patient with you. But if you're not even willing to accept that you have this issue or challenge, then that's a deal breaker for me. So when we talk about patience, and in both, like you said, in the Christian works of it, that means marriage, we're bound, we work through all of this together. In getting to that marriage in a relationship, what are we talking about then? We're talking about patience in those situations and deal breakers, because there are some deal breakers, period.
Remember last week when you said, when we talked about the 10 and you brought up 2, you said one of the 2 you said was love?
Absolutely.
You said love and relationship. When we talk about relationships and we talk about love, and we talk about that, you and I, we're talking, having a great time right now. We're conversing and we're getting this out to the public. But when you in a true relationship and you really are loving the person and you really trying to work through something with a person, it's not as calculated as me and you make it seem. You don't know, and I don't know what love will prick your heart and make you acceptable to and change you.
Okay.
If you were the right person in the right situation, things happen inside of you. The chemistry of you changes. And you don't know what your love language may end up being. You don't know. We're saying all these things, the deal breakers and what we want and what we will. Love is a funny thing. It's almost like football. When that football hit the ground, it turns every which way. You can't control it.
It's true. That's very true. However, if you're in a loving, caring relationship, and a person knows that for you infidelity is a deal breaker, if they know that for you that is a deal breaker, and maybe it's a deal breaker for you because you because of your past, your history, or because you can't see yourself going beyond once somebody makes that choice, because it's a choice to step outside of your relationship. So once somebody makes that choice, that trust is gone. And for some people, once trust is gone, they even if they love that person, they'll go and plant themselves in a pillow and scream and holler and do whatever, but they can't get beyond that because the trust part is broken. So I get what you're saying about, so that means learning that other person, because some people are very stark about infidelity.
Dr. Liz, you feel like being vulnerable for a minute?
Sure.
Have you truly been in love, where you really loved and you gave your all, your whole heart? You just gave it. It was nothing left in you. You just loved that deep.
I have.
Look in those lenses for a minute.
Okay.
Look in those lenses for a minute. So when we talk patience, real patience, when we're talking about real patience, we're coming from that love. We're coming from that angle when you look at, and this is deeper. This is deep. And that's why I told you there's a world patience and there's a godly patience. There's a spiritual patience. With the spiritual patience, you come from that level. So it's hard to say what you're going to do and won't do. Because what that part is to let patience have her perfect work.
Mhm.
That part is really, really deep, because the things of life won't take you out. That's when you work through some stuff. That's when my mother and father in the older days, when people, it was no divorce, it was no stop, it wasn't we in it, we make for life. And I just wanted to bring that in. We'll stop there, but I just wanted to just put that food for thought.
But you can't have me go deep and say food for thought and then just leave me dangling like I'm on a cliffhanger, right? So I'm gonna finish making my point here.
Go ahead, make your point, Dr. Liz.
So my point here is, though, and I get what you're saying with that, but I will also put on the table that everybody does not have that capability of the patience of Job.
Correct.
Or you know what I'm saying? So
gotcha.
Getting to know one another and knowing that person. I'm a cleric personality. So I am a little bit of a unicorn, if you will. I know there's probably some other folk that way, but there's certain things that I hold so dear to myself, is meaning that trust is like just is very, very important to me. So to me, if you get to know that person and you get to know that trust is something that's dear to them, if you are loving that person from a loving space, then you understand that there's certain lines that you don't cross, you know. And we're going to get into the next part of forgiveness and compromise. And that's why I said, to yourself, be true and know yourself. Because in order for you to be able to really open yourself up to somebody and let them know what you believe in, what your standards and your morals are, in order for you to stand starch on that and to know yourself, you have to be able to convey that to the other person as well, very, very, accurately. Be able to explain that to the other person. This is who I am. And that person can choose that maybe that's not the area that they want to deal with, or person they want to deal with, and they move on to somebody else. So I get that. So they're just being clear about and being transparent. That's I'm very, very strong on trust.
And I'll apologize for putting you on the spot, Dr. Liz, but that was a strong point I needed to get out. I wanted people to understand that the contrast between the world and the spiritual. Okay?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. So I get that. No worries.
So let's talk about compromise. Now, compromise, this is for that person you said that speak their mind regardless what. We're gonna this part is for them. And I'm just saying this part is for them. Because compromise lets you give into the other person's views so that what's important can be accomplished for both of you guys. Because if you draw a line in the sand every time something come up in a relationship, you won't get nowhere. So true. When you compromise and you say, okay, guys, all right, let's compromise here. Let's go ahead and fix it where we both can move forward and we'll both have something to work with. Compromise is very important in a relationship. It's very, very important. Because if you always got to have it your way, then there's a problem there. There's a problem.
I like the win.
Compromise is very, very important.
You're talking about the win when you're compromising. So again, that's another topic that people get confused with. They're feeling that the compromise is that you, one or the other, always needs to be the one to compromise. We're talking about the compromise where there's a win-win, where I really care that you're okay. You really care that I'm okay. But let's come to what's going to make us both be okay as we, go forward. So that's the compromise that we're talking about.
Yes, let's meet in a comfortable spot. Let's meet in a space that we both can survive and win, and we both have walk with our dignity and
good.
respect.
Good. Yes.
Fair enough. All right, forgiveness. Forgiveness help you feel more satisfied in a relationship. Yeah. Because if you can forgive, and this is back to that compromise part. This comes right into that compromise we talked about. Not compromise. I'm sorry. Not the patience part. This takes us right back to that patient part. When you feel more satisfied in a relationship when you can learn to forgive.
Yeah.
Because forgive through the hard times. When you go through the hard times, it makes it so much better. It makes it so much better. And relationship functions so much better when you know how to forgive.
Absolutely. And I think forgiveness too goes to the point that I love that when you come to an agreement that you don't go to bed angry. Because I think
Yes.
one of the worst things to do is to go to bed angry and everybody is hugging the corners of the bed trying not to touch, where you don't even want the air to touch each other because everybody's
Yes.
still, that's the worst night's sleep in the world. I don't know how did everybody end up still in the bed, because you wake up, you still on that corner hugging the creases of the mattress. Nobody wants. That's like, why did both parties end up on the floor? Because you were hugging, balled up with your pillow because you're so mad you can't sleep. You know you got your one eye open, up, got that one eye open. I saw this scene that was so funny. This
I'll
husband and
take
wife.
it.
Husband and wife had gotten into an argument, and after the argument was over, she went and cooked him this big meal, and she gave him the meal, and he said, "Why aren't you eating?" He was so scared. He was scared of the plate. He said, "You taste it first." He was like, "I'm full, babe. That's just for you." He was like, "Well, I'm not hungry right now."
Well, a good friend of mine, she said that. She said that her and her husband had made a pact that they would never ever go to bed without making up or working through whatever differences they encountered that day. And
Yeah,
you too. That's a great way to live, because
yeah,
time is too short. The last 2 to 3 years, so much has happened. We've watched whole families die. We've
yeah.
watched so many people exit from this earth. We've
Absolutely,
watched it. So we realize now that young as well as old die. It's no
that's so
more
true.
grandfathers and grandmothers that's going on in heaven.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
it's sons and daughters.
Mhm.
Go before the
Mhm.
mom go, the father goes. So
Absolutely.
with all that going on right now, you don't know when your spouse or significant other or whoever you're called significant in your life, you don't know when you're not going to see them again.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
enjoy that time. Enjoy the time with them. You can't redeem the time. You can't redeem the time that you don't have them. So go ahead all out. Love them to death. Here's, I guess I'm a hopeless romantic, because I try to look at if I'm gonna get a relationship with you and I'm gonna be serious with you long term, I give all. I give my whole heart. I let it all out because I want to see, if I play full out, where we can go and what it's going to get us and where it's going to bring us. What's going to be the net result of that?
Absolutely.
And that's, to me, time is too short to be playing games.
Well, I
Playing
think
games, that's something that's later. That's not what we're talking about in this show.
I think what my cup says, it says, be bold, be brave. And you're saying, be bold, be brave, play full out, and open your heart. I say, in that, investigate and just make sure that this is somebody that's compatible with you, making sure that your values line up. I'm not saying that they have to be a mirror image of you, but just know yourself and know what it is that you want, so that oftentimes people say, well, what is it that you want in a relationship? And a person can't even say what they want in a relationship, or what do you want in that person. So if you're not clear yourself, but you're wanting somebody else to fulfill those expectations, you're already setting yourself up for disaster. And especially,
Yes.
we all come with different experiences. We all come with that. So if you're not to thyself being true, then how can you be true to somebody else? So I do a segment on singles, and we talk about, dating ourselves and how important it is to self care, love on yourself, and
Mhm.
bring what that is that you want, bringing that to the table, not putting all that onus on somebody else to make you happy, because your person, your partner, they should be the icing on the cake. You shouldn't expect for them to be the whole cake. You know what I'm saying?
I
You
got it.
should be able to come as a
I
whole
got it. Yes.
person. So, did you have anything else you want to leave us with today? This has been a
Well,
great
well,
conversation, up and down.
yes, I do. I want to say first, I want to again remind everybody that we made a commitment in 2022 that December the 15th, 2023, we're going to be standing in our best relationship possible for us. That we are going to do the work. This year is our year of working and getting that relationship right. And I want to leave on Grandma's cookie jar today. Nothing worth having comes easy, Dr. Liz. some some things are worth fighting for, Dr. Lee. On that note, be
Well, all
blessed,
right.
sister.
We're going to stay too. Listen, learn, Leveraging information. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all stay fearless. Bye for now.